Did you guys see the Hard Knocks news? Not only is Hard Knocks struggling to find a team to take them on because they've already approached the teams that are eligible because, again, you can't have a first-year head coach. It's all these requirements, whatever it is. Chicago Bears, New Orleans Saints, Washington Commanders, and New York Jets were all approached. They all said no. And the Jets really don't want to do it. And I mean, let's be real. I think the obvious choice for Hard Knocks would be the New York Jets. That's probably why they're so adamant on not doing it, because they know that Aaron Rodgers, and Sam, I know you love Aaron Rodgers. All right, you respect the skill set of Aaron Rodgers. I selfishly need this for the New York Jets. I want to see all the ins and outs. I want to see Aaron Rodgers in the flesh. I want to see all the drama, if there is any. I would love it. But the Detroit Lions were approached to do it again. And they denied, obviously. They did it last year. And to be honest with you, the Detroit Lions doing it and then starting 1-6 and then finishing 8-2 and actually having a pretty good season for what we expected isn't too common for people who do Hard Knocks or teams that do Hard Knocks. Typically, it doesn't go well. So your thoughts on the Lions saying no and the teams that were approached, and are you also in agreement that the Jets would be the obvious one, the best one?
It's funny that you mentioned that that teams who usually are on Hard Knocks don't always do as well and sometimes woefully fall short of expectations. Because before the show, I was able to do a little research, and there have been 18 teams since Hard Knocks has been a thing in terms of the off-season Hard Knocks. I'm not talking about what the Arizona Cardinals did last year. I'm just talking about off-season training camp Hard Knocks. 18 teams have done it. 7 have made the playoffs. 11 have not. None have made the Super Bowl. And I'm pretty sure the farthest a team has made it was the 2010 Jets, who were the AFC champions, a team that Braylon was the star wide receiver on. Braylon Edwards from Ermanni Edwards, 2 to 4 p.m. on Woodward Sports Network. So that's, to me, I just don't think the Detroit Lions need that kind of a distraction right now. Mm-hmm. I know that there's not necessarily, is it correlation or causation? Teams that are on Hard Knocks don't always meet expectations. But was there any sort of correlation between the Lions starting the season 1-6 and then being on Hard Knocks? My gut answer is to say no, because they had a lot of young players. They had to figure a lot of things out. They grew as a team throughout the season. I think we could all see that. But it is a narrative that can start percolating if they were to do it again and then get off to another slow start. And for the record, their first 2 games of the season at Kansas City, home against Seattle, it wouldn't be outside the realm of the possibility for them to get off to a slow start. So I say hard no on the Detroit Lions being on Hard Knocks. I'm glad that they declined it. I think the New York Jets would obviously be the most entertaining. But at this point, is Aaron Rodgers that type of made man in the NFL that he can just snap his fingers and say no at this point?
Well, and again, I want to go through, because in order to be, I guess, because the NFL, or Hard Knocks, can really force themselves on any team. They can just say, hey, we're doing Hard Knocks, but to do it, and I want to go through the criteria, it's no first-year head coach, no playoff appearances in the past 2 years, and no Hard Knocks appearances in the past 10 years. So the Lions technically don't check that last one. They were just on it. But if they were open to it, they could do it. And I can't deny that the new free agents they've added, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Tracy Walker being back, it would be much more entertaining. I think I would agree there. I just, as a fan, I think it'd be way too distracting, Gabby.
Way too distracting. And, I touched on it yesterday. When the cameras are on, the mood completely changes. You become more self-aware. We all do it. I mean, we do it even on the show. You become more self-aware of your behavior, what you're doing. And they need the cameras off in order to get to work. Mm-hmm. We don't need the cameras in there. We don't need the cameras in there all day, every day. It's a completely different vibe. And I wonder, last year, obviously wasn't there for training camp last year, but I'm really curious to hear from the other media, what is the vibe difference this year? You have that core team. You have Dan Campbell. You have a coach that's very in step with his players, that is a big personality, a lot of personalities on the team. So how much did they put on for the cameras last year, and how much are they going to be themselves this year? What is that balance between the two? But going back to Aaron Rodgers, what I'm curious to see is, originally I would have said no. Like, no, Aaron Rodgers is not going to want to do this. He's going to put his foot down, and they're all going to bend over backwards to make sure that he gets what he wants in this situation. But he has been in the New York scene so much lately.
He went to Taylor Swift.
He went to the freaking the Music Theater Awards, the Tonys. He went to the Tonys. He was on the red carpet for the Tonys.
I didn't know that.
He was at Taylor Swift. He's going to all these events. He's on all these red carpets. He's going to all the New York games. He's so involved, and he's finding himself in, I feel like, much more places where he is on camera and being in the scene more. So is he setting himself up for this opportunity where he wants to be on camera and he wants to be on Hard Knocks? Or is he going to want to, still have his mystique of how he is without the cameras in his face all season? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, no, again, just for the purely drama, I want Aaron Rodgers. Even though he is all around New York and he's in the media and he's doing all these different things, maybe it's the football stuff he's not interested in, the Hard Knocks, like anything involving the Jets and what they're going to be doing, he's not involved in. But Sam, or actually Lucas, I want to get your thoughts on this before we come back, because the Jets, to me, are the obvious one. I think the Bears would also be a pretty good one, at least for Lions fans, because you get to see inside on a team that's in your division. But where are you at? Do you want the Lions to do Hard Knocks? And what are the available teams would you prefer to do Hard Knocks?
I absolutely want the Lions to do Hard Knocks. And I think the whole reason the Jets aren't is because if they bring Hard Knocks in there, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a media frenzy in there. And if you're going to tell me, like, at this point in Aaron Rodgers' career, we saw him do, like, the Nicolas Cage, like, beater and jorts and boots walking up to training camp. Like, the dude's going to put on way too much of a show than he needs to. I think in this point of his career, he had fun with it. And that's where the Jets' undoing would be with that talented roster. Aaron Rodgers is going to be like, hey. But looking back at it, I'm going to say that Bears for sure. And it's just because of Justin Fields' takeoff. It would be cool to see Justin Fields develop, and at the beginning of the season where they go. I don't think they're going to win the division or anything. They're going to be like a 7-8 win team. But I don't want to watch Aaron Rodgers for my summer. I really don't. I've seen enough of that guy.
And again, I put the poll on our WoodwardSports.com, the chat thread. You could check it out. What team should have Hard Knocks? Lions, Jets, Bears, and the Saints and Commanders are grouped together. Right now, two teams that are tied are Lions and Jets, and the Bears are right behind them. So, again, there's no denying that it would be entertaining if the Lions did it. Like, from a viewer standpoint, they would love it. But as a Lions fan, is that something you really want, Sam?
Well,
be careful what you ask
You may
for.
want it, but it's not what the team needs. You got to put the team's needs ahead of your own.
Is it, though? Does it speak to the Lions and how entertaining and how many good personalities they have on their team overall that it sounds like Hard Knocks was about to just discard a rule that's been around since the beginning of Hard Knocks and let the Lions do it again for a second consecutive offseason? Nobody can deny that the Lions have all kinds of personalities, led by King personality himself in their head coach, Dan Campbell, who is, without a doubt, one of the most entertaining coaches to watch in terms of a Hard Knocks setting or at a press conference setting in all of the NFL. So, to me, that's a bit of a source of pride for me as a Lions fan that they're even wanted to go back again. But kind of to what Gabby said, it's not about what I want. It's not about what I want to see. It's not about what would necessarily be more interesting for the network. It's about what would be good for the team. And I don't want that bad Hard Knocks juju around the Detroit Lions, because I gave you the numbers. More often than not, if you're on Hard Knocks, you miss the playoffs. Whether that's correlation or causation or not, it doesn't matter.
How about this? Force the Jets to do it, because they're probably going to get sent home early anyway. just force the Jets to do it. Like they're going to win a playoff game. That's it. Force the Jets.
You mean the AFC the AFC East champion 2023 New York?
Okay. Well, they're not winning the AFC East, so just force them to do it anyway. Sam, how about that? What's wrong with that? Aaron Rodgers, he has never done Hard Knocks, and he still falls short. So just do Hard Knocks. It sounds pretty simple to me, right?
The thing is let's say they do Hard Knocks with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers wins the East, wins the AFC Championship, fucking makes it to the Super Bowl. Do you know how many clips from that Hard Knocks scene with Aaron Rodgers are going to run for years and years and years? And I'm not trying to have that. With Aaron Rodgers, he'd put the cameras on him with that chance. They'll probably beat the Bills, beat the Dolphins, make it to the playoffs, and he'd be a fucking hero. That's the last thing I want. So I'm not even risking it. Throw it to the Bears. They're not making the playoffs regardless. It'll be a fun little cute story if they do something. Be like a Make-A-Wish, like, oh, look what you did.
But it'd be boring.
You think so?
Like, think about a national audience. Like, for you as a Lions fan, you might enjoy the Bears. But from a national perspective, who the hell is tuning into the Bears and with Matt Eberflus?
I mean, I think
Who's
you
doing
said
that?
it's with Matt Eberflus. Like, it's going to be a shit show during the
Oh,
training.
wait, I know why.
Oh,
Matt
I mean,
Eberflus.
he is a Toledo native.
He's
Grew
from
up about 3
Toledo.
minutes from me.
See, this all goes back to him being from Toledo, doesn't it? Because you can't argue that the New York Jets would definitely be more entertaining. And we already know they're going to get upset in the playoffs, Sam. I mean, so just have them do it. Just have them do it. Or the Commanders. The Commanders would be awesome, too, because we already know the disaster that organization is. And then you sprinkle in Ron Rivera. I'm all for it.
Well,
Commanders or Jets for me?
Well, first of all, the only way the New York Jets are going to lose in the playoffs is to the Kansas City Chiefs, who are then going to go on and win the Super Bowl
Oh my
because they
gosh.
are the
Jesus
preeminent dynasty of this generation. And that is just factual. Look at the data, look at the numbers. Nobody comes close. But when it comes to the Jets, it's not just Aaron Rodgers. I think the whole Quinnen Williams saga would be entertaining to watch. How he ingratiates himself with Garrett Wilson. I think Sauce Gardner could end up being an interesting character because he stepped right into the league on day one and was first team All-Pro, which never happens in the history of
He's
the
a
NFL.
dog. Yeah.
The New York Jets, I just think they would be very, very entertaining. The Commanders, you mentioned, they've got some interesting pieces, but
It's a disaster over there.
watch Sam Howell take practice
I would
reps and
Baker Mayfield 2.0.
I mean,
Sam Howell
and again, who knows? It's not, my interest would be solely on the Commanders as an organization, how they operate. Ron Rivera behind the scenes. I don't care about Sam Howell. I really don't. Aaron Rodgers now I'm interested because I know what I'm getting with Aaron Rodgers is very simple. I'm getting pettiness, I'm getting the drama, and I'm getting New York. So who knows with the Jets and Robert Saleh? You talk about Dan and being the everyone's favorite last year in Hard Knocks. Robert Saleh would be awesome in Hard Knocks.
100%.
So you got Robert Saleh, you got Aaron Rodgers, who's a diva, and I would pay to watch Aaron Rodgers every single day just to watch him on reality TV. So I'm all in. I'm all in on the Jets doing it. Force the Jets to do it. I don't give a damn what they say. The Lions, they don't have to do it because they just did it. The Jets, you got no excuses. Just man up and do it, Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and
you're going to lose in the playoffs anyway.
Well, we'll see about that. Like I said, to the Kansas City Chiefs, and I will be 100% okay with that at Arrowhead. But another storyline that I think could potentially be interesting when it comes to the New York Jets, I don't know what kind of a personality he is, but what about the return of Breece Hall from injury? Because he was a guy who
that's true too.
I thought was on track to possibly being the NFL Rookie of the Year or the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then he got hurt. He just came out of the gate just on fire. And when it comes to ACL injuries, there might still be a little bit of rehab having to be done even during training camp, and to just see his determination and see how he feels that he can bounce back. Because I'll tell you what, no matter what you guys say about Aaron Rodgers, every single one of those offensive players is much more excited to play with Aaron Rodgers than Zach Wilson, Mike White, and the corpse of Joe Flacco. That's just facts. The offense is going to be better.
How better is the question?
I said that they're going to win the division. So,
God. How many games do you got to win the division? Let's just get it all on the table now.
12.
You think they'll go 12-5?
They won 7 with that terrible laundry list of quarterbacks because they have good pieces. And Breece Hall was out for a lot of the season. The Jets roster is stacked.
It's a good roster. Good defense. Got wide receivers. They don't have a great O-line to protect your man Aaron Rodgers, though. But we'll see.
12 wins might be coming back.
12 wins for Sam Flannel for the Jets. Listen, I don't know what you're smoking, Sam, and you like Aaron Rodgers. That's your guy. I'm going to back off a little bit on the Jets, and I haven't been as high on them as you have. I'm still with the Bills. I think the Bills are the team to beat, or Miami I would put over the Jets. But regardless, do it, New York. Do it, please. Selfishly, I need to see this. I want to see this. I want Sam Flannel to see this. It would be great for television. It would. And again, I want to recap the poll we have. What team should do Hard Knocks? 168 votes. Lions have 52% of the votes. You guys really want the Lions to do Hard Knocks. All I'm asking for, or telling you, is be careful what you ask for. Because as selfish as fans tend to be, and I want to watch the Lions on Hard Knocks too, I just don't think it's worth it. I really don't. Force Aaron to do it. Force Aaron to do it. Who cares if he gets upset early in the playoffs? It happens all the time. So you might as well do Hard Knocks and entertain the people. So there's that.